views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff and management of WWDB TV.
All right, you guys are all right.
Slashy's mom. It was a
Hey guys, it's happy hour. I'm here with my man Stoney Curtis. Heavy Galaxy Happy Hour version 2 or day 2. We had Alan Childs before, which is a kick-ass drummer. We both know him.
We love Alan Childs.
Alan's a cool cat. Played drums with Bowie, Julian Lennon, and then John Waite, which Stoney's a massive fan of John Waite, as I find out. Also Danny and Corey and the whole bunch were, as we chatted up the other night about that. So anyways, Alan Childs, if you're listening, thanks for last week. Now I'm lucky enough to have more Vegas royalty, and that's Stoney Curtis. And Stoney Curtis, man, has played around the world. How long have you been a pro guitarist?
Well, I think I started playing in clubs when I was about 15 or 16 back in the day.
Yeah.
But I've been on Shrapnel since 2004.
Right. Our buddy Mike Varney.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool. Now, so Stoney's a Chicago boy.
Absolutely. Just was in Chicago to see Kiss.
South side, north side? What's your...
I'm a South Sider.
Okay. White Sox. So Stoney, we're going to be rapping with Stoney a lot. You know, in case you haven't seen this before, the format's basic. We're going to bring you really good rock and roll all around the world, It's hard rock based, heavy rock based, some metal. And we're going to help bands, get more fans, hopefully, by watching the damn show. Some people don't know anything about this stuff, period. And those are the folks we want out there that can see rock and roll. But this guy in town is one of the premier people for me on electric guitar.
Well, thank you.
Right here. He's pretty good at acoustic too.
Every once in a while.
But he turns into a whole different animal on stage. He's cool, and right now he's cool on stage, but it's a different one, if you know what I mean. If you haven't seen him and you live in Vegas, you want to hear rock and roll that's whether it's familiar or whether it's covers, whether it's something new. Stoney Curtis Band is always delivering the goods, and he's the man in lead guitars for the Counts. 77.
Count 77, yeah.
Oh.
They're both kind of the same thing, but different. The Stoney Curtis Band is blues rock.
Right.
Kind of that acidy blues. And the Count Band is kind of 70s rock and roll, hard rock, storytelling, but slamming music.
Really always a fascinating set list. This has been a talk. This is something when I talk to people that are kind of like, I've seen them before. I'm like, they got an interesting rotation set list. New things get put in. I like the second level songs many times. I mean, we can go see, a cover band and they're going to play the typical cover songs.
Right.
That's one thing I like a lot about you all, just like I do about Jason Walker.
Absolutely.
Is different, second or third level songs that we all know are just as good.
Different songbook, right? So with the Count Band, you get our original stuff from the 2 albums.
Yep.
And then we mix in a bunch of like big 70s covers, but Slow Ride.
Yeah.
The Bob Seger set, Traveling Man, Beautiful Loser, that
Beautiful
kind of
Loser. I remember hearing it the first time, and that's the song that captured me to go, whoa.
Right.
I don't know if I've ever heard it live. I haven't seen Bob Seger.
The live
cool.
bullet, that's the version that kind of everybody knows. But we, as we do with everything, we put a little extra heat on it. You have the 2 guitars with Zito and I, and the keyboards with Tommy. So you kind of get that whole package. And then like in that middle section of the Bob Seger, there's the big guitar solo. So everything that we do, even if it's like the Doors, keyboard, bass kind of music, we still deliver it with the big guitar, with the big guitar sound.
I mean, Vegas is an interesting market as far as music and stuff like that. And I think you all have something unique besides branding. Okay, we got to give it to that, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's a deserved level of that. But the set list and everything, I think that's a key. Along with you guys are pros.
Yeah, and let me say this too with the Count Band, and this was always from day one, is that when we first started out, we were doing some covers, but I always would tell these guys, we have to look at it like this. We're not a cover band. We're a show band, right? And we start traveling around in North America, and you're from Vegas. You can't be showing up with some flip-flops and a Hawaiian shirt playing Mustang Sally or Brown Eyed Girl. And we're going to come and we are going to lay it out so people are just going, right?
Yeah.
So we've always had that mentality. We're a show band. We're going to put some heat on it. And then eventually, when we started writing songs, they had that same kind of 70s hard rock vibe, but now they're our songs.
Yeah, and we're going to play one of those a little bit later, which is cool. The song we just played was, was Rival Sons, and we bring that up because they're the #1 song on the active rock charts, and that's a blues-based rock and roll band. Now, they're not a new band, and some people think that, but there's a bunch of us been listening to them for 6-7 years.
Sure.
I mean, they're 6-7 albums deep. They did just play with Black Sabbath.
I saw that tour. I saw that tour in Chicago.
I mean, of all things.
Fantastic band. I mean, real rock and roll guitars, the fuzz. The singer is ridiculous. The whole band is ridiculous.
Yeah. The guitarist has a real rock star appeal to it with, and a lot of it has to do with the dress and the demeanor and the style.
And he's got a sound too.
He does.
He's got a sound. That kind of drop tuning with the fuzz pedal. Spectacular band. Sean McKee, the drummer in the Stoney Curtis Band, loves the Rival Sons.
Yeah.
That's like his favorite band right now, and it's hard to argue that. They're awesome.
It's easily one of the hottest bands. Of course, Greta Van Fleet is too, and I know no one wants to hear about that. But
I like Greta Van Fleet. Greta Van Fleet is great. My only issue with the comparison to Led Zeppelin is that you're diminishing Led Zeppelin, right? You're diminishing how powerful and how great Led Zeppelin was, and you're putting too much pressure on these kids. Thinking they're not this kid's not Jimmy Page. He's not Robert Plant, John Bonham. You're putting too much pressure on them to try to carry that Zeppelin torch. Just let Zeppelin be Zeppelin and appreciate these kids for just playing some great hard rock music.
That's it. You know, Stoney, you've been on a couple of my radio shows before.
Absolutely.
You're one of my favorite guys to have on. And there was a song I played for you, and you were like, sounds more like Geddy Lee or Rush on that one.
Sure.
And I think it was Blackwater Rising or something like that, which is a pretty cool song. But great song, actually, and totally not a Led Zeppelin style to me at all. I get the haters, and I get it that this band has been able to deliver a Led Zeppelin style music that has been elevated. Now, why? Sure, they probably have backing. I mean, okay. I mean, what band that's made it didn't have backing? If you don't know, that's the way it works. That's the sad part, all right? But they're young. And good looking enough, even though the guy's got a big mouth that sings. Like literally, I can pick, no, but he can sing his ass off. And people, I mean, he's the #1 enemy, you know, of the underground rock crowd. And I feel him, and I get it.
Why do you think that is? Because they're getting all the, again, I mean,
undeserved,
there's a lot of,
didn't earn it. Bands just as good as them, which Rival Sons is the case in point. And now Rival Sons is there. That's the point. And we'll have some bands playing today, but all of them are ones that should be on the radio.
Sure.
But it's up to the very rich and now I'm gonna sound like some crazy media. The rich and powerful radio station owners, which are just a couple broadcast system things and 5 or 6 labels. They're all in control of what you listen to the majority of the time because they have more money. More money equals more advertising, more everything, everyone's paid off. But good music makes its way through sometimes. And sometimes it takes a revolution where the music kicks it in. Think about, I know for a lot of metalheads they didn't like it, but it doesn't fucking matter, it's history, is when Nirvana kicked it in next level, all right? That was an underground thing that just went boom. Someone grabbed that band and got the momentum going. There was already some things brewing, but that album, it's hard to beat. And they came out of nowhere. And then other bands were discovered in great bands. Like, we're all happy to hear Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, and Alice in Chains more than what we would have without Nirvana. That's the point, I think.
And
sorry.
Rock is not dead. You know, I mean, I just went to see Kiss in Chicago, 23,000 people. It was sold out. I mean, I've been going to these big rock concerts, and people still go to rock concerts.
And I agree, but I'm going to say this right now: nostalgia sells, and that is a little bit of an enemy of growth of rock. And that's where everyone has to have that realization. If we put all our cards and all our chips on that side, then we're stifling any growth of new music because people fall in, and you know what I mean, they fall in that pattern. They'd rather hear you do nothing but covers versus, you know, a new Stoney Curtis tune.
And I refuse to do that. I refuse to play in a cover band where it's just all covers. It's just not what I do. It's not my thing. I have records out. I have records to sell.
Exactly.
I'm promoting my own music.
And you've done good music that deserves to be played live.
Absolutely. And I have a lot of other bands too. So my thing is always pushing the original stuff. You know, it's the same thing with the tribute bands. You know, I mean, I always think, you know, probably the best way to make money is just do a Stoney Curtis band or a Count 77 tribute band. I can get double the money. You know, I mean, it's crazy. So so I'm always an advocate for playing your own original music and getting it out there because there's way too many good bands out there.
And people. There's the challenge is you got to write good music, and regardless whether we try to get these underground bands and people with talent to the next level, you still got to write a good song. You got to write a song that catches people, hooks people, and I don't mean in a poppy way.
And you got to be able to play.
Yeah, it'd be nice to play too, live, because that's the full package. Is you have to be able to play live, and you have to be able to be not far off of what you put on the album. And the backing tracks and all that stuff, it's not for me. I understand it, but I think people have gotten a lot more reliant on it nowadays than ever.
Want keyboards? Hire a keyboard player.
Right. Hey, let's check out another song.
Let's do it.
We got Radio Moscow coming in. They're actually coming in playing our Desert Rock weekend, May 16th, to open up the whole thing. These guys have played 3 or 4 continents around the world.
Great
I say 3 to 4 because I just can't remember. There's one country at question whether they've been to yet. Mike Barney didn't know either, so we'll figure it out. Parker Griggs on lead guitar and front man. This guy is an animal live. You have to see him. So let's check it out.
We're gonna do a song called Broke Down.
That is some good stuff right there, man. Let's get back over here with Stoney. Blues rock. So did it all start with you at that? Or what was the intro to get you feeling the guitar? Like where it was like, whoa.
Well, I mean, as a kid, of course, again, I mean, this is old news, but it was Kiss.
Yeah.
Alice Cooper, Elton John, Pink Floyd, Zeppelin. The list goes on because I had an older brother who listened to all this stuff. So I had, and he was 8.5 years older than I was. So he was bringing in good stuff. His friends were bringing in good stuff. So I was wrapped up in it. I think that the moment that kind of always goes back to me too for like blues rock guitar was there's a station in Chicago called WXRT, and back in the day it was kind of like FM rock,
right?
Like FM station
Sure.
where they played. Stuff like Robin Trower, and when the first time I heard Robin Trower, that's when I was like really like, man, that's really cool. It was probably something off of Bridge of Sighs that I heard.
I mean, phenomenal album.
Right, from top to bottom, every song on there is classic Robin Trower.
You kind of wonder, like, what? I mean, I know Robin Trower's still around, but
Sure.
that album was so massive. You wonder, I mean, maybe you could never reach that level the next time or something.
Sure.
But man, I'm surprised Robin Trower wasn't bigger. I think I'd say.
Yeah,
It
was with me, but
No, I mean, I
understand.
totally love him.
Yeah.
But it's weird. It's just the way culture goes and all
Sure.
that. Because, God, you remember 77, 78, 79, we're just youngins back then.
Right.
That was a tough time for rock and roll when we look at it, because that's when disco kicked in and people started
Sure.
more and
But
more
it-
using computers and things for sounds.
Isn't it crazy though too? Because really, I mean, like that pocket of 76, 77, 78 probably had some of the best kind of hard rock, blues rock stuff ever, man. It was all right.
What bands you
around that time.
feeling back then? What band would be some bands you'd go like, yeah?
Well, I mean,
like, who was-
it's like 77 or 77, 78. That's kind of when, Van Halen was kind of coming out.
Oh, yeah, that's true. First album was 78, so yeah.
Kiss was kind of peaking right then.
What album about then? God, I can't even remember. I had
77,
a solo
78
album.
was, Rock and Roll Over, Love Gun, Alive 2. I mean, that was a big period. Van Halen 1 had just come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe it's kind of like now too, right? Where this other stuff seems to be kind of swallowing it up, but rock just kind of keeps coming right down the pipe,
Yeah.
and it's not going anywhere. So
Yeah, it sure isn't. It sure isn't. Much as anyone, I mean, it's just one of those things that people have to care enough.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
and then I guess probably early '80s was before I moved to LA. Stevie Ray Vaughan kind of came around, and that really just kind of shook everybody's foundation too. That guy was just wow.
Really?
To me, man, pound for pound, Stevie Ray just might be the best ever for me, man. If I got stuck on an island with I can only listen to one guitar player, it'd be hard to not take Stevie Ray Vaughan. Michael Schenker, of course, too, but
Hendrix?
Hendrix, of course, yeah. I always kind of, the big four, Beck, Page, Clapton, Hendrix, them always, right? But guys for me were, Stevie Ray, Robin Trower, Michael Schenker, Ace, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the blues guys, I love Luther Allison, Buddy Guy, the old stuff, Albert King, and yeah, man, it's
Ace. Yeah. Yeah.
Way better than people think he was.
Yeah,
man.
that's what I think I was going to get to is so much of that early stuff was so riff-driven and so good. Like, it was a harder edger kind of Kiss.
And they were parts, right? I mean, so
Yeah.
you can't play a Kiss song from that era and not play that solo pretty close to the way Ace did it, because it's a song within the song. It's his part, it's his moment, and to just like blow a lead over it doesn't work. I mean, now that you're taken away from the song, right? I mean, he played solos that fit the song perfectly. And Kiss to me was like a punk rock band, just 3-chord bop bop bop.
Big anthems though, and big chorus, and
well, you got to have the song, man. All that makeup in the show doesn't mean anything if you ain't got something to put behind it.
I think that's what differentiates it from punk. I'm not a big punk guy, so I've never made.
And I don't mean it in that way. It's just it was just kind of grungy.
Yeah, but just raw rock and roll.
Yeah,
Yeah, with a crazy ass show.
with the greatest show ever.
With some crazy ass shit going on that stage.
Yeah.
I saw them when they did the reunion tour.
Sure.
It's a really weird story, and I won't go long into it because I don't want to. But Charleston, South Carolina, and me and 3 buddies that I live with in Hilton Head, we went and ate mushrooms and went to that. And that was a weird thing. We like pre-gamed before then at a bar. And of course, anyone who's done mushrooms before, you know, it doesn't kick in right away. So you're like eating and you're like, but we're like on our second beer and we're like, fuck, we got to get out of here soon. Because we don't even know how to get out the front door. And take a cab to this not really big arena. It was like the North Charleston campus, whatever. And we were way up high, but you could still see, even tripping on mushrooms, you could see that blood coming out of Gene's mouth. And then walking, I mean, it was some crazy stuff, man. It really was. And I missed this last show. Did you catch the?
Well, I went to Chicago last week and saw it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, the Count Band was in Tulsa when they were in Vegas. So I, like we were talking about with Rival Sons, Black Sabbath, AC/DC at Wrigley Field, so on. So I go and hook up with my childhood buddies.
That's awesome.
Once or twice a year, and we'll go to something big. So this year, it
you hear
was
that, guys?
Kiss.
So I'm looking at my high school buddies and some of my college buddies. We were the same thing. Good friends. You're loyal. You stick with them.
Yeah.
You know, we all can go flighty and be assholes sometimes, but when you know them that long, it's easier to forgive them too.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
it's always so much fun and special.
Sure.
I think that's what music is really good about, is getting out and living life, doing something different.
Yeah.
When you go to see Kiss in Chicago with your buddies,
Yeah,
well,
that's
special.
where I first saw them when I was a little kid. You know, so it kind of came full circle. But doing those kinds of things with my buddies, I mean, that's just kind of good for your soul, and it centers your foundation a little bit. And you know, again, I mean, they don't know the Stoney Curtis stuff; they know Kurt.
Yep, that's it. That's it. Do you know there's a song called Stoney Curtis?
Is there? Oh, there is actually. A good buddy of mine, George Draculius, who legendary producer. He'll send me goofy stuff sometimes. And one time he sent me a YouTube video of the song Stoney Curtis.
It's not very good.
No,
Anyways, it's hardcore or something going on there. At first I was like, oh wow, tribute to Stoney, but no fucking tribute there. So let's kick it off with some more music. We'll see you on the flip side here. Let's get some more music going here.
Roll cameras.
All right.
Speeds.
Distractions, take 3.
On the vocals, do try to stick with justice.
Right, sure.
Yeah. Like that.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hit it again.
stand by.
Just to where I'm at. I've been riding on a homeless train, ain't got a long to go. To my dreams, to my time, it can't take my soul. Well, there's so many distractions. Well, cold-blooded reactions. Well, there's so many distractions. Cold-blooded reactions. If you live life just to get on by, well, you can't be complaining now. Walk the walk and talk the talk, and I'm not gonna tell you how. 10 long years, all my fears, got me where I'm at. Doing good on the day-to-day, maybe you'll find a bad. There's so many distractions. Cold-blooded reactions. There's so many distractions.
You were so close to making it awesome.
The wah-wah pedal noise.
The wah-wah pedal noise from Stoney, Curtis, and Counts 77.
Yeah.
Yeah, you dudes do like the 70s action, and that's a big thing for me too. Maybe the different, harder edge of that, but nonetheless, many of us like both. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like we talked earlier about 70s stuff. What you think back? What do you think of Tony Iommi and what he brought to the table within this whole rock and metal genre? I know that's obvious to many people, but I thought I'd ask someone who maybe tends more on the blues side.
Yeah, because Sabbath, again, you know, like
Blues.
we were talking about, it's a blues band.
Without a doubt.
You know, and so Tony Iommi just kind of took blues. You know, maybe Zeppelin was going this way. Sabbath kind of went this way into the heavier mud, you know, and just really bringing it down in the dirt. And
Really
but
creative.
Tony Iommi, you know, and everything affects everything, right? So maybe the way he plays and his fingertips and all that stuff, it just kind of brings that sound. But just a great guitar player, and look what he's brought to everything.
Yeah, just such a riff master. And
Riffs are a big thing. I mean, especially for like a guy like me, where you know, it's got to be guitar heavy, or what am I doing here?
Yeah,
Right,
I agree.
you know, so
I agree. I think we've lost a lot of that. You hear guitars are toned, and I say toned down, meaning they're churned down.
not on my records anymore.
Yeah, but on some records and live.
Yeah.
In Vegas, I never hear more complaints from fans. And I'm a fan, besides the shows that I do. I'm a fan out there 3 nights a week, and you hear it, is people go, I don't know why the guitar's not up just a little bit more.
Well, for me, it should be the lead vocal, and then that lead guitar should just kind of sit right underneath it. I mean, especially if you're playing this kind
Depends
of
on
music.
how good the vocal is, even closer together,
Right.
many would say.
But yeah, so when I play, the guitar is always going to be in your face, of
I wonder
course.
why.
Of course.
You're Stoney Curtis, that's
And
why.
then, but on my recordings too, I want the guitar in your face. You know, I, as we were just talking about, I'm producing that album for Zito.
Right.
But the mix, I mean, I want that slide guitar and that rhythm guitar. I want it in your face, crush it. We're making a guitar album here. We're not making pop albums. We're making a guitar, bluesy, hard rock, grungy kind of album, and I want the guitars to be in your face. I don't want to be. I want to be going, I think he's ripping on the guitar.
Okay, so when that happens in production, whether it's live or, you know, doing an album, there's a give and take. So it means that you have to take away from something a little bit or lower down other elements of the song. How do you go about it as a producer when you look at that and you're like, I gotta have the guitar as a prevalent thing, but you can't have everything up?
Yeah, because I mean, it all has to kind of fit into a sonic pocket, right? But you know, push the fader up. That's the way I look at it. I need that guitar up a little bit more, bro. Do this. Push the fader up, because I want to hear the guitar. It's frustrating to hear an album, and I've heard them, where the guitar solo is kind of buried down in there, and you're going like, man, I want to hear the guitar solo when it's guitar solo time. I want to hear it just as predominant as I do the lead vocal.
Yeah, and honestly, I think people miss it, but if we go back in time with the great songs, that guitar riff is just as intoxicating as Hooked as many times the vocals. Whole Lot of Love, unbelievable vocals by Mr. Plant. I mean, unbelievable moans and these things that will forever conjure, you know, thoughts. But that guitar was the guitar.
About the guitar. Well, as we were talking about too, like with Ace Frehley and some of these guys, I mean, those parts are as important as the vocal part.
They are.
And same thing with, sorry, I'm like hitting the microphone. Same thing with the music I write. I mean, you're hopefully writing guitar solos that have hooks in them. You're writing the riffs that have hooks in them, and all the coloring that you kind of put on the song itself should all be these little hooks that grab you.
Yep, I completely agree. Let's check out some more music here. We got a couple. We got Red Stone Souls. These guys are out of Detroit. Heavy rock and blues right here. They'll be at Planet Desert Rock Weekend playing the night of Red Fang, and that's at Bunkhouse. That's May 18th. But Red Stone Souls, one of the first bands that went and snagged to come on. So why don't you take a look at them and listen to them and see what you think?
every day. I feel I'm closer. It's time to play. I'm not traveling down that road. I'm not riding with the sons of perdition. Oh no, save my soul. I'm not riding with the sons of perdition. It ain't about superstition. I'm not riding with the sons of perdition. I feel their cold hands on my back. I keep on trying, but I won't crack. Got nothing for them, no debt to pay. I won't see them on Judgment Day.
And we're back. That was Redstone Souls.
Detroit Rock City.
Detroit Rock City. Is it still Rock City?
It is. I'll tell you what, the Count Band has played in Detroit several times, always packed.
Makes
still
sense.
A great crowd. Yeah, right? Still a great crowd, and they're there to rock. I mean, we played Cobo Hall twice.
Wow. How many people?
Probably about 5,000.
Good God. That's awesome. Do you have anyone play with you? No opener?
No, usually the Count Band doesn't have openers. We go and we're the band, and they pack in, and again, we take them on a ride because you're getting the originals and you're getting the big covers.
How long is that set?
2 hours. We play 2 hours solid, probably 60-70% original with the cover. So it's like you kind of get a few of the originals. You go, okay, cool, and then slow ride. Everybody knows slow ride. It's like I think it comes with your DNA chip now. So
and it came around ×2 when the movie came out.
Sure.
And, you know what I mean? Like we already knew it, and then that made it historic.
Yeah, again,
for so many of us of the generation.
Everyone knows Train Kept A-Rollin'. Everyone knows Slow Ride. Everyone knows Radar Love and some of this stuff. Yeah. It's not the stuff that you hear, everyday Fremont Street stuff, but you know them.
Yeah. Get off Fremont Street. You get down there much?
Yeah, Carney Vegas. Everybody got taken to
Carnival.
Carnival.
Yeah, it's a little shit show, I'd say.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
There's some good
maneuvering through.
There's some good bands and musicians that play down there. And
there is.
The dancing DJs or whatever it is. I don't know, the hula hoops or whatever they're doing down there.
Yeah, you're probably just looking at the girls standing in the bar, for God's sake. At least I do. But that's because I'm a man. So I don't know.
What do you expect from me?
What do you expect from me? I'm a fucking man. I'm like, not a politically correct one of that. Sorry. You said Zito.
Yeah.
He's got. When's that album coming out?
I just finished mixing it, master it. Got the artwork being done this week, so it should be out about 2 weeks.
Oh, wow, cool.
It's so good, John, and it fits into the stuff that we like. It's that bluesy. I always say Zito likes that kind of porch blues, white junkie blues, heavy rock, Hendrix kind of stuff, and I think that on this we captured everything on it. John's performances are great. We co-wrote some really cool songs.
Nice.
The whole band's great. Paulie, Barry, Kyle, Mary cries on a song.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's really good. So I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah.
I was listening the other day to the Kiss one you did. That was cool.
Both of those albums are great. Volume 1 and Volume 2. They're great. The performances are great. The productions on them are great.
Goes to a good cause.
Goes to a great cause, and I'm so proud of those albums. And I tell you, I listen to them all the time.
Yeah, I literally just popped in the car. I'm like, you know what? Some old Kiss, bam. Next thing you know, it's like Sean Coey singing on a song, and then
Sean Coey singing.
She's amazing.
Singing "I Want You." If that just doesn't
kill you,
make
you a man again.
I don't know what else. Yeah. What else you want?
She's a powerhouse, hot singer.
Yeah.
That Jason Walker show.
Absolutely.
That was just crazy.
Yeah, Sean.
And they gave her a little
special
space to do her thing there.
Yeah.
And really
the
highlight her.
In the sky.
And she wasn't even feeling that good, folks. And she was like top notch.
Yeah, her, Cassie Stone, of course. Man, for the female singer, I mean, there's a lot.
And you have Mandy Lyon, who's not a female. Mandy's not a female.
Mandy is not a female.
He's a very large male.
I've been doing some stuff with Mandy too, and I'm really excited about that stuff too, because that's going to be that kind of 70s kind of hard rock.
He's going to be more on the metal side, right? You think, or no?
I think that's the thing is that I think people misunderstand him, and I think a lot of the people that he works with misunderstand him. They thinking that he's this metal, blah, 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 but it's not, man. I mean, we did a song, we demoed a song and did it. It's called Hell to Pay. And, man, it's just that kind of 70s AC/DC,
cool.
3-chord, 4-chord hard rock, and it kills. And we're going to do some really cool stuff together.
I'm looking forward to it. Every time I see him live, it's power and energy quick.
Yeah, he's the real, hey, man, Randy is the real
He is.
deal,
He rocks
man.
our.
Real deal.
He mixed it up the other night. He had a different shirt. I was like, dude, you mix it up, man. He had like a white.
The people.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, oh my God, man, he really mixed it up. He, yeah.
and
What's confusing me? I was like giving him props, like, hey, you're
sweetheart of a guy.
He was hanging out with Jakey Lee. They were doing a little meetup because they did something
like
together.
20 years ago.
Yeah. Folks, we saw Jakey Lee, and again, one of the great things about living in Las Vegas, multiple things. But one thing is we get to see great musicians come in all the time and do it in small venues like Counts Vamped, which is easily, I've traveled all around the country and seen rock shows, easily one of the prime, probably the best rock bar I've ever been to.
Yeah.
So anyways.
Everything about it is.
It's just pro.
It's
great.
Great, yeah.
It's
the lighting,
awesome.
The sound, and again, it's you get the local bands, and then you get Saxon and UFO and Michael Schenker and Jakey Lee and the Winery Dogs. I mean,
now of late, the Skull, Brant York, King, the Watchers, which just played on my birthday, a humongous crowd, our best one ever there, and we had to compete with you.
We talked about that because I played at the Sand Dollar that night, and it was packed there too. So I mean, if you present people with good live music, people will come out. We got into, and I don't want to be picking on people, but we got into a little bit of a mode here in Vegas where mediocrity was running rampant, and there was just bands that are still in the beginning stages that shouldn't be on some of these stages yet, all over the place. But getting guys out there like the Watchers and Walker and some of these other bands, let's get back to it, man. Let's get back to
You got it.
This is Vegas.
What do you think? 2 minutes to the video or 2 minutes to? All right. I just want to make sure. Yeah, you never know. I agree, and that's part of where I've tried to curate, a different style or selection to come into town.
And you and I
just
talk
something
about,
totally different.
You and I talk about this a lot, man. I'm so proud of what you do for Vegas and for the heavy rock scene. I mean, you've been out there doing it for a couple years now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
A couple years. I mean, putting your name and your pocket on the line and doing this stuff. And a lot of these bands out there that are in the heavy rock scene have a lot to be thankful for you for doing that stuff, man.
I think you appreciate it. There's some good bands that are coming in that can cross into this realm that we could be entering. And that's what I say. Rock and roll is going to keep evolving. Yeah. We know Rival Sons is the #1 song. We know that, Greta Van Fleet is hot. We know there's 2 or 3 other bands, Joyous Wolf, Rain Wolf. Watch out for those guys. Yeah. They're right about the jump. Their engagement on social media is massive. Their sound, live show is worldwide known. Rain Wolf and Joyous Wolf. I know let's put the 2 wolves together there. Yeah. But
and if you love guitar, Saturday night at Vamped is the Randy Rhoads Remember.
Damn right.
And I'm playing in that again this time, and that's a blast. And if you love guitar players, man, it's chock full of.
It has got to be a production right there.
Yeah.
So folks, geez, I almost forgot it. So Saturday night, big show for sure. Randy Rhoads, action there. So we'll finish it up with one more song, and this is from Shotgun Sawyer. They'll also be playing at Planet Edge Rock Weekend. All right, we'll catch you next week.
Stranded on the edge of a night, very far from home. I tell my secrets to the dying light, and I was all alone. I set my sights on the setting sun, it's all I can see. The bad things, all the evil I've done, is catching up with me. You got to run.
was a young boy. I said when I was a young boy, my mama told me, son, and my papa told me, son, well, they said, boy, yeah, they said, you got to, I said, you got to run.